Hello and welcome to episode 34 of Kitze. Today is Friday, 23rd of February, and I'm recording this at 11:30 p.m. because my life has gone off the rails. Remember when I was making plans in the calendar and having an assistant and having routines and habits and everything gone absolutely off the rails. Anyway, in Kitze, I'm talking about my personal self-development journey, trying to make it in life, whatever that means. We're going to discuss habits, routines, pomodoros, work-life balance, fitness, healthy food, life hacks, being a dad, productivity, running startups, creating apps, etc. That's your cup of tea. Walk with me. Put on your shoes, put on your headphones, go for a walk or for a hike or whatever. You'll thank me later. It's only 30 minutes of your time. Maybe more if I start ranting. If you're new here, I'm Kitze. I'm the founder of Sizzy, the browser for developers, Benji, the Life OS, and Zero to Ship, the course that helps you ship your SaaS using the technology stack that I'm using in all of my apps. You can find all of them in the description below. Don't forget to send me video or comment questions. And I just remembered someone asked me something. Someone asked me a very interesting question in the comments, so that's going to be part of our topic for today. So don't forget, post some questions, and I might include them as a topic, especially on days when nothing has been going on and I don't have much to talk about. So we're not going to do a Benji review. Sleep time, sleep score, everything has been messy. Hydration, it's kind of fine. Fasting, this is the first day in a really, really long time that I skipped fasting. Probably I've been doing it for more than a month. Today I skipped the fasting. Weight, I haven't measured my weight. Workout, I haven't been measuring my workout. I didn't do 10,000 steps. I did almost like 9,000. Not bad. Pomodoros, I've been tracking a couple of pomodoros. I don't know how many do I have. I worked, I think 5-6 hours today, even though I tracked less pomodoros. So I worked for the second half of the day, basically. And habits, I haven't checked anything, even though I'm doing most of the habits. So you might, why am I so yellow? Jesus Christ, what is happening here? Let me just try un-yellow myself. Just make it, well, this light is yellow. Whatever, dude, who cares? You might have noticed, like someone mentioned that they've noticed that something has been going on with me lately. My tone is different, this is different, that is different. And I said, I kind of alluded, I mentioned in the other podcast when I was talking about MJ, that don't judge a person if they're doing X and Y, like you don't know what they're going through. And I'm telling you a lot of shit on the podcast, but I cannot go into like personal life and go too much into the personal life. There has been an exhausting situation in my family, which I don't want to get into, which has been driving the life force out of me since you go back to the podcast and you'll find the day when that started happening. Like I really got filled with a lot of anxiety. I got filled with I'm not sleeping well and all of that shit. And I threw myself into work basically just to feel like, oh my God, he started working suddenly 12 hours because I just wanted to focus on that. So yeah, yesterday was the culmination of that situation. Things are still going on, whatever. And I mean, it's not whatever. I just wanted to let you know because you might, people still might get inspired from this or try to copy something like the habits and whatever, and we might be wondering, why was he doing all the things and suddenly he's not doing things, he's working all day. You might think I'm changing my mind too much or whatever. So I just wanted to know there's some private shit going on that I cannot go in details about. So just so you have the full picture of what's going on with me. It's not just the work, it's not just this, there's also some other shit. Yeah. Maybe it's just worth it because every time I say I'm not going to give enough details, and then, I'm the type of person to be like, and then it's labba. Dude, if I ever get kidnapped, and someone is like, they're preparing to take me to the fucking torture thing, so I need to take information. Dude, we're not even going to arrive at the destination. Like, we'll still be in the car, they'll take off my mask, and and as soon they put the thing down, I'll be like, it was Jerry, it was Johnny, it was Josh, here are all of their addresses. We're not even going to go to the torture room, dude. Like, I'll spill out every fucking thing. I'm not that guy. So anyway, I just wanted to say there's nothing going on with my wife and my daughter. Like, everything is perfect there. I'm talking about more extended family. And yeah, so yesterday I came home very fucking late and I was hungry because we ate lunch, but it was super light lunch. And I came home around 1:30, 2 a.m. I was honestly searching for McDonald's. So I went to my phone and I see all McDonald's are closed because I was driving from somewhere and I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'm not going to eat that. Came home, boiled some macaroni. I didn't boil them completely because I'm a donut. I didn't set a timer. So I was eating very chewy and hard macaroni at 2 something a.m. And this morning, instead of fasting, like around noon-ish or around, I woke up at 11 o'clock for the first time in a really long time. And we went for a walk and I ate some garlic bread and a pastry. And then we stopped at a cafe and I had some egg sandwich. So I ate bread 3 times today. I broke that rule. Yeah, so but that was my only meal basically for the day. I totally forgot to eat lunch. I booked a test drive for Tesla Model X and Tesla Model Y because I'm not sure if I mentioned, I wanted to have a special trip to Warsaw just to go to try the new Model X and to try the Model Y. They still don't have the new one. But it was never worth to me just to go to Warsaw for that and back. It's like 8 hours of travel in a day. It's like too much. And plus test driving the car is too much. But now my parents-in-law, they're supposed to be coming next week. And we told them not to book a flight and to come basically to our city, but to come to Warsaw. And I'm going to go pick them up with the car. Because last time, even though I was complaining, the Tesla electric car and like kind of enjoyed the drive. I don't know why. I kind of enjoyed the drive. So this time I want to kill two birds with one stone, like take them from the airport, even though it would be way simpler for me if they just fly to here and I won't lose an entire work day. Like I never liked that thing. Like I always calculate the money and I'm like, it doesn't matter how much the flight is. I'm going to lose an entire work day and that's not worth, doing. But I really wanted to try the cars. I want to see, how good they are compared to my Model 3. So I'm going to test them one after the other. Maybe not the best idea because I'll be driving for 4 or 5 hours. Then I'll go there and I have to test drive one car and stop, come back, and then test drive another car and come back and then wait for my parents-in-law and then drive 4 or 5 more hours to come back. So we'll see, but I'm excited. When they called me on the phone, Tesla, I see the number and I'm like, Tesla service, and they're like, yeah, we have. What do you want? And I'm like, can I try 2 cars at once? They're like, sure, if you can drive 2 cars at once. And I'm like, no, they didn't say that anyway. So we booked for 2 hours. So yeah, that happened. We went out, came back home. I started working a bit late. And I decided, because I've been working on this native app for Benji in private, and I decided, why am I not streaming? Because I said my internet connection is not fast enough. I mean, that was my conclusion, right? And I realized to test that and asked Zico, can you just watch me on Twitch? Even though Twitch has some bandwidth test mode, whatever, I know about that. Just watch me and tell me everything's fine, and I'll try to play with my settings. So I asked ChatGPT, what are the best settings for streaming? Here's my internet speed. Here's my computer. ChatGPT tried to come up with some things. I input some things. Zico was like, stream is fine. Everything is good. And then I started streaming and people were happy that I'm back. So I think the link for streaming is down below. It's twitch.tv/thekitze, I think. Or it's /kitze. I don't know. I think it's down there. So I'm going to start streaming regularly. And I'm like, even if this stream like has some lag or something is happening, I'm not going to wait until I have fiber optic. I just want to start it now. Maybe tweak some settings. Maybe stream at a lower resolution. Like try to figure out things. The thing that I said with the car, it's if you're a car in place, you're just turning the wheel, but you're not going anywhere. If you're actually driving and you're turning the wheel, you'll actually, steer somewhere. So at some point of the stream, I'm not sure if it's my computer being overloaded with a lot of shit and not being able to stream. So frames dropped and people are like, hey, audio, video is out of sync. Or is it the Starlink? Because I'm using Starlink as my internet right now. And from time to time, something is happening and the connection is bad. Whatever it is, I'm going to try to fix it. And the streams are back again, which made me happy. I did a 4-hour stream, I think, and I coded today for 5 hours and 15 minutes so far, which is nice. I thought I'm going to take a day off today because of all the family shit going on, and I somehow plowed through and coded a new feature for Benji. So you can say that, and this is pun intended, so for people, some people are going to get it, some people are not going to get it. You can say that the native development for the native Benji app is going strong. And for those of you who get it, you know which feature I'm going to talk about now. So this is the thing that I coded today. So this is the native Benji app. So we get more and more icons here. Like this is literally going to be at least 3 or 4 rows of icons. So the new thing that I added is workouts. You can click on start a workout. You're going to create a new workout and you're going to get a ticking timer. You can choose exercises. You can choose chest press and push-ups and Gucci because that's obviously an exercise. You click on add the exercises. You can start tracking your weight and your reps. You can add more sets. One thing that I didn't like in the previous weight training app, strength training apps I was using is you get so many exercises, but you cannot just collapse them. Now here you can mark an exercise as done and it's going to collapse. So it's not going to take any space. If you click it again, it's going to uncollapse and then you're going to see the entire exercise. You can create custom exercises. You can click here. You can go and filter. You can choose whether you want to see the exercises for the platform or you want to see only the ones that you created. You can choose between chest, triceps, biceps, like all the muscle groups are going to show here. And you can go ahead and you can create your own exercises. Like for triceps, you can say whatever, like that's definitely a triceps exercise. You can add it. It's going to be added to your training here, and then you complete the training. And eventually, one of the features I have to build. I mean, this is version 1. This was literally coded in a few hours. I need to improve a bunch of things. Here, we're going to get a calendar to see all of your previous workouts, and you'll see like circles for which day you have completed a workout. And down here, you'll see a list of your workouts to be able to delete or edit or reference or duplicate or make a template. Like I'll do all of the things. So basically the joke that I was making, there's an app called Strong and I've been using it back in the day when I've been strength training. But I just want Benji to be like all in one hub for everything because the entire point is like, if you join everything together, like there's more that you can do with the data when you have everything together. Like if you have the sleep score and the workout and the food and the fasting and this and that in just one single place. And Apple Health is that, let's call it, or Google or Samsung Health are that, but you got to be in a particular ecosystem. This can just be fed from those like Apple Health or Google Fit and whatever, and it can be like a central hub for everything. Like have in the social feature, when you finish a workout, you'll be able to post it on the timeline and people will be able to see Kitze worked out on his biceps or whatever. So there's like more options, and I like being in control. Like this took 5 hours to code, and it's like most of the things that I need in a strength training tracker, basically. And I can add any feature that I want, like anything that comes to mind and I need in my strength trainings, I can just go ahead and edit it. So test flight link is coming from for Pro subscribers on Monday. So if you're a Benji Pro subscriber in Europe, on Monday I'm going to send you a link to join the test flight and start testing the app. Let's talk about the question, because I really don't know what to tell you. Yesterday, I skipped recording. I want to apologize for that because, yeah, I was out for most of the day. And I said on days when I'm, like, if I ever feel like not recording, I'll be honest with you and I'll tell you that, hey guys, I just didn't feel like recording. But this time, like, literally I couldn't. So also, I'm not sure what the fuck was I doing today. What was yesterday? Yesterday was Thursday, and I'm really not sure what was I doing. I'm pretty sure that, yes, I was coding, I was working. I'm not sure on which freaking thing I was working. Maybe it was another feature that I forgot to mention. I honestly have no idea. I probably worked on the native app for Benji, and I don't have anything else interesting to tell you about yesterday because my head is, a little bit messy right now, and with all the shit going on. So basically, this question saved my ass for today. I'm still gonna find ways to rant, and I'm still gonna fill up the time for today, so don't worry about that. But this question, let me see who asked that. While looking for the name, I remembered what I was actually doing yesterday. I was working on the fasting tracker. So now in the fasting, you can click on your history and basically see a history of fast. This is super basic. I just wanted to see on which days have I been doing the fast. And then some days it seems like I fucked it up, but I've been actually doing the fasting. So I wanted to find the bugs, like what is this bug? Yesterday, like today I started one, yesterday I only skipped it. I also grouped the routines. So if you go here and you click on routines, like they'll be nicely grouped by time of day or whatever. So you have morning, afternoon, night, where you can see your routines or you can see all the routines of other people that they shared it with you. And last thing I did is the weight tracker is finally live in the native app. So you can see, I was pulling my hair out with this chart. Like this chart was very annoying because it's the first time I'm working with React Native charts. I figured it out. It works. You can see your previous log entries. You can delete your previous weight logs, and you can log your weight along with information like fat percentage, muscle percentage, and both bone percentage. Now all of that works on mobile. I just remember that I know that I worked on something yesterday. I wasn't sure on what exactly. All right, so the question from Leo Wing Son is, let us know about your wife. She's somewhere techie? Is she a dev? How did you get to know each other? And cultural difference, etc. could be very interesting. You don't. That's what he said. So thank you for the question, Leo Wing Son. How I Met My Wife. This sounds like How I Met Your Mother. The worst show ever. Don't ever watch that. 3 episodes and I was out. Met my wife, like we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary not from our marriage, from the day that we were together soon in April, which is absolutely insane to be with someone for 10 freaking years. Because that's like 1/3 of my life I'm with this person, and we kind of grew up together. Like we grew up into new people together. It's absolutely insane. We met like, this is like, I'm not sure if this is for saying on the podcast. Like this is a situation. Fuck it, I'll just say it. Like I want to apologize to this person at some point, even though they probably hate me, and they will for the rest of their life, or they don't give a shit about me or whatever. So basically, I was in a very short relationship before meeting my wife. It was a relationship-ish. It wasn't like super official, whatever thing, but I was seeing someone. Let's call it that way. But you know me, just obsessed with my work. It's always been like that, just obsessed with doing and blah, blah, blah. And, at some point, like after, I don't know how many dates, after going out for a while, I decided, tonight's the night I'm going to tell her, like I'm not for a relationship right now, and I'm not planning to be in a relationship. I'm sorry, I'm too much into my work. I want to be single, yada, yada, yada. So we go out, and I feel like a piece of shit for even saying this on a podcast, but fuck it, dude. It's like 300 views. What are the odds that it's going to get to her? I don't fucking know. Maybe she's still watching this shit for some reason. So we go out one night, and I go out like probably in this Giants jersey or whatever. I was just going out randomly for a random night, and I was planning to break it off. And she goes out in like a super fancy dress and makeup and dress. So Russian dress and makeup and everything. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm like, okay, fine. And we have coffee or whatever, walking towards home, blah, blah, blah. We stop at her building, and the clock, which is very important, it's 11:15 11:57 a.m. No, p.m. So it's like 3 minutes to midnight, literally. And we stand in front of her building, and I just start the speech. It's not me, it's you, and I have plans with React and with my career and blah, blah. And I really felt that. I'm like, this is not for me. Like, I don't want to disappoint anyone and blah, blah, blah. And I tell her that, we're not going to see each other anymore. Wish her best luck in life. Like, I don't remember the entire conversation. She wasn't happy about it, obviously. And then, dude, I start walking towards home, and midnight strikes. And I'll let you guess for a second what happened. I'll let you guess what happened at midnight. I'll just be silent for a few seconds. Few of you fucking guessed it. I opened Facebook. Back then I had Facebook. And I see it's her birthday. And then immediately, as I turn the corner, like I see a van parking in front of me. And they're like, sir, we would like to grant you the Guinness record for the world's biggest piece of shit. Confetti, T-shirt cannons, applause, cameras. I had like a news reporter asking me, so how does it feel to be the world's biggest piece of crap? Dude, I felt so fucking bad, and I still feel bad when I mention this, and like, it is freaking horrible. Anyway, I'm telling you all of this because I just tell this girl that I don't want to see anyone, and then my friends are trying to take me, the introvert, to go out. Like, come on, let's go out, let's do this, let's do that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, just leave me with my computer, with my things, whatever. We go to a party. Basically, that's where it's not a party. We go to an apartment. We meet, a bunch of guys, a bunch of girls. We have fun, blah, blah, blah. That's where I meet my wife. Fast forward a little bit later, we start dating, and we have an official Facebook in relationship status, which this other girl just left a like. I can imagine the way she pressed that like probably drilled the fucking hole in the mouse button, like you motherfucker. You said you don't want to be in a relationship, you piece of shit. But I don't know, like some fucking magic happened, and I fell in love with my wife, and she fell in love with me, and now for 10 years fucking together. It's absolutely insane how that happened. So yeah, that's how we got to know each other. For a while we were living, like we immediately moved in together. I think a couple months later, like first we went to vacation, then I met her parents, and then we started living together. All of that happened in like 6 months. We didn't care that people are like, you should wait for this, you should wait for that. It's not like you don't know what. We were so sure this is it. We were like, fuck it, we're going to start living together. So we lived together for a while in Macedonia. Then we moved to the Netherlands, but I don't know how many years later was that, like probably 3-4 years later. We moved to the Netherlands. She couldn't stay for longer than 3 months because she had the Macedonian limitation of not having citizenship, and you got to be 3 months in a European country, in a European Union country, and then you got to go back for 3 months. So that was a little bit heartbreaking, a little bit sad, because she left for like 3 months, and I was in the Netherlands, and I was the biggest fucking absolute moron. Like there's I just remember I started building a setup, a desk. I had the same desk, not this one, but the same type of desk, and all sorts of shit. And I had a neighbor across me, which I'm still in contact with, like Sam from Spain. If you're watching this for some reason, hi. So he was across. He was a developer. We literally lived window to window like this. I would shut down my blinds. Like we had so many things in common, gaming, basketball, whatever. I would just shut down my blinds, and most of the 3 months, I just spent them alone like an idiot, coding, not wanting contact with people. Like I don't fucking know what is wrong with me sometimes, for real. And then we have more contact with this guy, and we even went out. When I visited again in Netherlands, we go out and this and that. We had more contact then than for those 3 fucking months. Like I would just shut off the blinds, because in Netherlands, there's a big trend of just people opening. Like you would just walk past the street and you see in people's homes. The difference from the Balkan people is like, you don't look in their homes, and they don't care if someone is looking. But us being from the Balkan in the beginning, we're walking on the street, but you're a little bit like, throwing the side eye just to see what's going on. Oh my God, they have dishes. So anyway, I don't know how I ended up talking about that. Yeah, my wife was for a while in Macedonia. I was just being an introvert. I even bought a big ass TV that instead of calling Sam, I'm like, hey man, let's come to my place. I bought a PlayStation, I bought a TV, let's chill. I fucked up my back trying to lift that TV and put it by myself. And I'm like, I'll do it by myself. That's why things are the way they are with your boy. Because, a lot of times, like, I don't now fucking know what's wrong with me. Am I an introvert? Am I too much into my work? I think that way I basically drove a lot of friends away because they wanted one type of lifestyle and I wanted another type of lifestyle. I wanted to build a life for myself where after my 30s and 40s, I'll be just comfortable and chilling, and just we couldn't align, in that regard. But anyway, after a while, my wife came back. She started working. Basically, you asked me if she's a techie, and that's an interesting story. I remember back when we lived in Macedonia, like we were talking. I remember we were in bed talking about HTTP and URLs and shit, like the most pillow talk ever, right? I remember like she got interested. I was freelancing for this company. She was like, what exactly are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And I explained to her what is a software tester. And I started explaining to her, she's very geeky in a way. Like back in the day, she had a PC back in the day, like cracking games and doing all sorts of shit. And she knows her way around computers and technology a lot, but she never tried software testing, So I was explaining some terms and yada, yada, yada. And somehow I got her basically to work in this company with me. So we were both freelancing for the company. She was doing the job as a software tester and I was doing the job as a programmer. And like the thing about me is like people might have thought like you were helping this and that. Like I don't know if this is a bad characteristic or whatever, but I just wanted to throw her into the fire and be like, no, now you figure it out. Like I wasn't helping her with things and protecting her in meetings and this and that. I was like, no, you just figure out your way into this shit. And she was figuring it out for a while and she was making very good hourly rate. I remember we were traveling, vacations, this and that. And she would be like, oh shit, they need me to test something. So she would pull out her phone, like at the beach. I remember we were in Italy or somewhere. She would start testing a bunch of stuff, report the bug, whatever. She's like, I'm done with work for the day. I'm like, isn't this a fucking amazing lifestyle? Now when I talk about this, like I miss like who were we? People who were traveling a lot, people who were hanging out with other people and blah, blah, blah. And now we have a kid now, it's different. But I definitely want to go back on the travel train. Like soon there's a bunch of conferences coming. Speaking of that, I was supposed to mention conferences. What did I get an invite to? Fuck, someone just sent me, React India, which I rejected. Like once it's supposed to happen, then next year I rejected them. Then Maria was pregnant. And now this year they're like, hey, are you interested in doing React India? And we also have something in May in Berlin or whatever. And as I said, I'm saying yes to anything. So probably React India is happening. They mentioned something in May. And I was pretty sure there was one more conference I'm supposed to go. But at this point, I'm blanking out. What the frickity was I talking about? That we both work for the same client and I throw in the fire and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I was mentioning travel and that we actually miss travel. So soon with all the conferences, but I also want to make it as a rule that at least once per month we go, or at least a weekend getaway at some random place. There's like shit ton of cheap flights. I want to teach my daughter to actually be calm and to be fine on all of these flights. I want to buy the other good MacBook. Zico is laughing, shut the hell up. That I can travel with and basically code on and do all sorts of shit on. Even though the MacBook Air is good enough, maybe I'll get this new one. I don't know. I'll see. And I want to definitely travel more because especially this winter here is like a long ass fucking depressing period that drives us absolutely nuts. Like today we were walking with our daughter and I'm like, it's almost March and in a lot of countries it's already way warmer than this. But we're like, oh, don't worry. It's only from late October to early May. It's not like it's half of the fucking year. Like, I don't know how long I can make it in a country like this. I don't know for how many years will I lie to myself that I am not someone who loves the sun and who loves, sunlight, basically. Like, this is freaking depressing. And a lot of times, house is great, this is great, and whatever. A lot of times I'm asking myself what kind of life I would have if we lived at another place. So we're definitely, this is not from now. Like, we've been thinking for a very, very long time. If we would move from Poland, what would be the location that we go to and where do we live where it's like clean and safe and the weather is warm and, you cannot have your cake and eat it too. Like, one thing has to be missing always, but maybe we'll figure something out. Maybe, like, I think I have it as a deadline in my head that by the time maybe when my daughter needs to start school, that would be the time where we would choose another country. If we find and we properly research something by then, because I don't want to start doing the nomad thing with a kid and be like, we're going to live here and we're going to live there. So anyway, we were traveling a lot. We moved to the Netherlands. I was going to the office a little bit for working for this client. When they wanted me to come to the office, I fucking hated it because I just didn't like working in an office. I wanted the freedom of doing whatever the hell I want at home. And then I stopped working for that client, but they kept working with my wife because she was actually a very, very good tester. So not that she's a good techie. Like, I mentioned this before. I loved and I hated working with my wife because you wouldn't even think of some bug scenarios that she was finding out. And she'd be like, and did you try the this and the that and I'm like, no, I don't thought of. Like, it's very weird also working together with your wife, because the phrase reproduction steps can be two different things. You have reproduction steps in testing, right? And you have, the other thing. Like, it's very weird. Like, I wouldn't recommend it. And I think we're not going to do it again. I hope that after, the early period with the baby and taking care of the baby, I hope that after that she will start doing something else because she's very good at writing. And she always wanted to be a writer. And sometimes I read her stories and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? These are amazing. She started posting them on, I don't know, on some website. People have started commenting, but she did the classic creator thing where you quit too early. There are two books that I have to recommend on this topic. The War of Art is a very short book, and it's talking about this. And I think it's Big Magic. Yeah, what a fucking amazing book is Big Magic. about all like how we procrastinate and how we, don't pursue through all of these things, and what is procrastination and where does it come from, and how, like, they're very amazing books. I don't want to, go too deep into what the books are because we're talking about something else. But she basically stopped writing, even though she got positive feedback. And I hope that after this period, she'll be doing something else. Because working together, especially when it's my company, maybe for the client it was different, but when it was my company, when she started working full-time, so I'm jumping ahead here. We moved to Poland. She was working for Amazon. As I said, we went on a meetup. We met someone. They asked her about her technical skills. She went on an interview. I was just like, I'm that type of person. I'm like, you figure it out. You figure out how to get to the interview. You come back. I don't know what happened. Was it another company or was it Amazon? Something was failed or I don't remember what. And I'm like, you pick yourself up and you move on. Like, it's, in retrospect, it's very harsh. And I've just been raised that way, that there's not a lot of empathy and compassion. There's more like, no, you're a big boy. You'll just fucking figure it out. Which was, a lot of times you need empathy. Like, I realize now when I grow up, a lot of times you need empathy from the person in the moment when the shitty thing happens, and then you give them the lesson. But ever since I was little, I was always given the lesson. There was no empathy. There was no like, oh, here, this is going to pass. There was always like, fuck it, you got to do the thing, which it helped me a lot to get where I am because I can fight for myself. I literally have no other support. And a lot of times, like maybe once per year, twice per year, I'll think about how scary that fucking is, that you cannot rely on anyone and you're just left on your own. You're just thrown. You're like, if I fail financially or whatever, there's no one where I can knock and be like, hey, I would need some help or this and that. Like, you're 100% on your own. And I think that made me to be able to fight, to be able to figure out ways to be financially sustainable there and don't need anyone's help. But yeah, it's like a personality trait that that now when I analyze situations, I'm like, maybe I should have went with compassion first. And then, but in a way, I also helped my wife to be more self-sustainable, to be able to go places and to travel and to do shit and to, like, we needed to go to Warsaw for some document and whatever. I felt sick. I think I have COVID or whatever. So like, don't worry, I'll figure out public transport. I'll take a train. I'll do all of this shit. And I'm really glad that, but because when people travel from Macedonia, usually when they move to Europe and whatever, not everyone is getting accommodated to Europe and the way of living and how big is the country and subways and places and buses and trains. Like, everything seems super scary. Like, I know a bunch of people who, maybe not the guy, but their wife usually is like, they would take it with them, and she would not have an idea how to navigate the city or how to basically do anything without the husband taking the lead. So I know a lot of examples for friends who are like that, unfortunately, and I'm happy that we just figured the shit out. Even though to some people it sounds like if you're born here, you're like, what the fuck, you couldn't figure out the city. But when you come from a small city and whatever, for a lot of people, like, they just couldn't. So at some point, she quit her job at Amazon. She was working for Amazon for a while. She quit her job. We started working together. And that's where a lot of problems starting, because you cannot separate work and personal. Like, I worked on one floor, she worked on another floor. And but we were still on Slack. We were still on meetings. I still had remarks, which I'm not the best. Like, I never put her on a pedestal when it comes to work to be like, she's going to get different treatments from the other people. When I didn't like something regarding testing or following procedures or whatever, I would just plain and simple tell her, hey, this was not good and blah, blah, blah. And sometimes you would create tension that lingers in your personal life, which we didn't like. After a while, it's fine. But we were like, if you just worked separately, this would not have happened today, because you cannot be like, at work, this happened, and da-da-da-da-da, and then you turn off your computer and you're like, hey, sweetie, how's your day going? So we had amazing moments together, and we had, when you celebrate together. Like, we did this together, and she helped me so much in all sorts of things in Sizzy, whether it's customer support, whether it's testing, like merch ordering. She helped me with a lot of stuff, but I think for now I would prefer to pay other people. She was also saving a bunch of money because I would have to pay 3 different roles that she was replacing. But at this point, I would definitely pay more money just so we have separate work lives. I think that's the healthiest thing. I've heard of couples who worked on the same desk literally at a company. That's how they met and whatever. And then when they break up, one of them has to leave the company because it's weird and awkward. I don't know, maybe you have experiences like this, working with your wife, working with your partner, to your husband. Let me know in the comments. It would be interesting. So yeah, as soon as we got as soon as she got pregnant, we decided she's going to go on a pregnancy leave and we're not going to work together. And it's been a hard period for me to accommodate to the new situation, that there's no one to do the taxes, there's no one to do the testing, there's no one to reply to customers. And still to this day, I was supposed to have a meeting with a new assistant called Jen. He's a temporary assistant, but I just didn't have it in me. With everything going on, like, I just couldn't have the meeting, and I just left them. I was like, I'm sorry. I replied at night. I was like, oopsie daisy, sorry, I missed the meeting, even though I know that there was a meeting. happening, I just like, again, late on taxes, late on so many things, customer waiting, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, how am I in the same fucking cycle again? Hopefully when they find the new full-time assistant, not the temporary assistant, because I don't want to invest time right now. Like, I'm going to give him all the procedures in my bank accounts and shit. I'm not going to do that for a temporary assistant. As soon as they find a new one, I hope that things will go, as they started going, in the right direction for me. I hope I'll be back on track with the new assistant. But definitely it was weird to get used to, Like, my wife had like a huge stomach, and I would jokingly say it, do you feel like maybe doing taxes today? And she's like, no, thank you. I'm not doing that. I have a baby here that I have to take care of. I have to take care of my body. So that's why your boy's late for so many months on taxes. And my accountant is like, do you want to report empty taxes again? We're going to correct them later. I'm like, yes, I would like that. Thank you very much. And hopefully eventually things will, straighten out. So yeah, that's the story of me and my wife in a nutshell. Like, I mean, there's way more details in that, but I think that's more than enough for you guys. So yeah, I hit fucking 30 minutes. I think we can call this episode talking about personal life and breaking up on someone's birthday and then meeting my wife and blah, blah, blah. Because out of the React Native and the native app that I've been coding on, and honestly, I don't feel in the mood to talk more and to start random topics and other shit. I'll leave you with the song. Like, I'm a big Eminem fan, and Eminem dissed Machine Gun Kelly dissed back Eminem. Now Eminem did the what was it called, the Kill Shot, which is the dissiest diss of all times. But I still, I'm not that kind of fanboy that I would never listen to this artist. So I listened to some of his things that he posted on SoundCloud and on YouTube, like the cyphers, and now he has a song called Don't Let Me Go, which is a very interesting genre. It's like rap, but with piano and an interesting beat. I think it's called Don't Let Me Go. So just search for MGK Don't Let Me Go. I've been playing it for 15 times probably and more today on repeat. And Linkin Park released a new song. I mean, unreleased song finally released because Chester is dead, obviously. Called Friendly Fire, and I played it. And the title, I was expecting like Linkin Park, Friendly Fire, he's gonna do some screaming and shit. But unfortunately, it's from the latest album probably, and it's very poppy and whatever. I just skipped through it and didn't like it. So definitely give MGK a chance. And do your homework in the description. Go through all the links, go through all the things, get the course, or do whatever the flippity fuck you want, because I'm not your mom. Don't forget to join my stream, twitch.tv/thekitze. The stream is back on, and I will see ya in the next one. You donuts.